into more details, but I'm going to pass the time to Timothy, right? Social media.
Thank you. Just one correction on FT slide earlier.
Only one?
No, you saw MBA, then below you saw Harvard University. Right? So I just want to clarify, not like Malaysia ministers. I got my MBA not from Harvard. I just went to attend a specific course, but I was funded by the Harvard Foundation to do that. So,
Let's see Harvard, right? Who cares?
I do, because integrity is an important issue in healthcare, right? Dover Park Hospice, I think, just a quick introduction to us. I think our motto is every moment matters. And I think it's an important thing for us when the way we approach healthcare, approach nursing care. Right? So I'll just a bit of a selling koyo. I think part of it is to understand how we are structured and then helps you to think about how you can help us. Right? We provide comfort, relief of symptoms and palliative care to patients with advanced diseases regardless of age, race, religion, and also to support grieving families. So the whole idea is not just for the patient themselves, but it will also support families. So when we talk about, for example, relief of symptoms and pain, we actually think about physical pain. Pain is not just physical, it is also emotional, it is social, and it is spiritual. Right? So there are many aspects, and that opens up some ideas for you in terms of how we approach healthcare in totality. And I think the approach to integrated or holistic care could and should be escalated down to all level of the healthcare industry. Because that's an engineer talking. That's our vision, is really to be a center for excellence. So we try to work towards a holistic approach to patient care. Pain control will always be a priority, pain control, symptom control, but we also provide a high level of psychosocial care. So we have got medical social worker with full-time art therapists and music therapists, and we also have just hired a full-time spiritual counselor. Right? And we work across different religions. And bereavement support is important for us, and watching out and also keeping an eye out not only for the patient but also the caregiver. And this is an important philosophy that almost all hospices around the world will use. It says you matter because you are you, and you matter to the end of your life. We will do all we can not only to help you to die peacefully, but also to live until you die. And that is really an operating philosophy at Dover Park and also across the hospice sector. Dover Park was founded in 1992. We are the first purpose-built hospice in Singapore. Right? We are open to everyone. So far, I think we have around 12,000 patients and families that have gone through our doors. And also, it started by volunteers. So we continue to integrate a lot of the volunteer into our main care to patients, in the delivery of care to patients. So again, that's an opportunity to start. If you are not into the healthcare sector, you can help train volunteers. Right? That is a big area to support the sector. So Dover Park currently have inpatient care, home care services, where doctors and nurses and social workers go to the homes. So community care is an important and big piece within the healthcare sector today, and it's going to be more and more significant in years to come. So that's again opportunities for leaders. Education and research is a big part of what Dover Park does. I'll share a bit more. And then also we're starting day hospice care as well. You guys know about this, the healthcare trends in Singapore. We see this inverted coming up. So there's going to be more need for community caregivers, right? and you will see that there will be more young old looking after the old olds. So many of you would have probably, I will get across, you see we are all in our 40s and 50s, early 60s perhaps. You all have elderly parents who are in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, and we are responsible for them. Right? So it's the young old looking after the old olds. Right? But then as you begin to move up the system, you will see that there's actually this part where there are very few young people in the 30, 40 range, the Gen X. And as cost escalates, right, you will need lower income families to maintain and support the whole structure with elderly parents and young children. That means that there are going to be more professional caregivers needed, whether it is in the institutional setting or in the community setting. Right? So we're going to see that as a potential job area for these who are maybe past their 60s, early 60s, who may be retiring from the corporate world, and they are looking at something different, something more meaningful. That's another opportunity. Okay. The other interesting thing you will see that's up and coming is that the end-stage renal disease and dementia is going to be the highest rise and growing tremendously, with cancer, stroke, and chronic neurological diseases running around 30%. I need to find a more updated one. It's a bit old already. Right? We are already close to 2020, right? And moving forward to 2030, I think. Yes. Okay. And within the palliative care setting, you will see that now it has expanded. The acute hospital has started a lot of the palliative care services as well, right? And then we also have subacute palliative care services within a lot of the community hospitals. So you will see St. Andrew Compost, St. Luke Compost, Rome Compost coming up with palliative care services. Dover Park is one of those few inpatient hospices full running with home care services and community day hospice. Strange thing about Dover Park is that we are registered as a society. We are a charity by definition because of the work we do, EWO. We are classified as nursing home, but we are nowhere close to what GOMICU and all the other nursing homes are doing because they don't know where to place us. We are funded as a community hospital at the kind of the level which we are at, equivalent, but we're running a subacute ward. We're a very confused bunch of people. So let me just give you a brief case study, because that helps you to also think about needs within the community. Right? This is a 91-year-old gentleman. He used to be an ex-principal and a teacher, and the wife was probably an ex-accountant, perhaps suffering from mild dementia with a Filipino helper. Right? 91, 83. When our home care team went in, he was suffering from advanced dementia, but he was fairly stable. Right? Stable, but fairly stable. Right? But there was one problem. He was making a lot of noise and he was very agitated. Right? So what we found was that the wife and the helper was actually in depression. They were so far out in caregiver stress. Right? So when our team went in, we took the principal, immediately bring him to the adjustment into the inpatient hospice, and then we gave them relief for a bit of time. While he was in inpatient, we have our music therapists working with him to find things and coping mechanisms to sort of help him to calm down. Right? And then what we did was we went back to teach the family member how to care for him. So then they worked through a little bit of strategies, and they were also being counseled at the same time. When he was ready to go home, he went back. And they were ready to receive back home. So they were then able to cope and manage the whole entire situation. Right? So there were more than just the medical part of it which we do, but there's also the psychosocial element that we look at. So these are all, again, opportunities to begin to think about as you go back. How do we support some of this that may not necessarily need a full-time therapist, but maybe somebody who's at a community A and so on and so forth. Right? Yep. So just to share with you about what we do, Global Park actually have a tripartite group now called the Palliative Care Center for Excellence in Research and Education, which we call PALSI for short. And this is actually a collaboration between Global Park Hospice, the NTU LKC Lee School of Medicine, and also the National HealthCare Group. Right? The reason for this collaboration is because we have got Global Park is strong in palliative nursing, and NHG has a lot of the palliative medicine strength. Right? Although we have our own senior consultant, and she's really good as well. But we do a lot of collaboration across. And LKC provides the academic rigor. Right? So in addition to all this, we actually needed the academic rigor for a lot of our courses. And like Hong is one of the 6 learning institutes appointed by AIC. Right? And we have about 400 attachments to our hospice every year. So from nursing to medical to allied health and so on. Okay. And the training was very specific for healthcare professionals. We also look for volunteers and caregivers. So that's something which we aspire to do. And one of the opportunity for us is we're looking at developing online programs. Right? So that's again, healthcare, it may not have a certain structure, but if you can help people to design and create an online program, that's another opportunity to think about. And our research and care model, we look a lot into hospital to community type of care integration, and also care, the type of care you do. Causes wise, here's the challenge, right? Healthcare is like this building, right? Lobby A and Lobby B. If you go on Lobby A, you find you're on the wrong floor, you want to go over the other side, cannot. You got to go down to the first floor, go to the other side, come back all the way up. That's essentially healthcare for you, right? And healthcare education. Whatever you have done, you got to go back to that first floor, start from the beginning, go through your PCP to become a nurse, therapies and whatever, and you start from the bottom, right? Sorry, that's the reality. And so what we do is that certification is an important part of this whole industry. So whatever you do, if you get a certification, you get maybe $10, $20, $30, kind of allowance, so you can progress, somewhere that catch. So if you see all these courses that we have are actually very professionalized, right? We also have a very clear progression for our nursing people. So you will see that they move all the way up with different type of succession, and they go all the way up to master's program and so on. So schools that we work with, of course, NTU, LKC, and all those. But we also work with places like King's College. We send our staff to New York, Buffalo University for their advanced, and those are thankfully supported by AIC, otherwise we cannot afford. Right? Which is also a very important thing, is that everything that we do, right, because we are so poor, generally, we are always looking for programs that are funded. So anybody who comes in to my desk and says, I want to take a course that is not funded by AIC or NCSS, right, then I will say, rethink why you really need this. Otherwise, generally 10% off, pay 10%, we'll let them go. So there are a lot of support courses for nurses. There are a lot of training courses, again, for our doctors and nurses, pharmacists, and so on. And for doctors, we also have got very strict adherence to certain pathways. So those are honestly ring friends. Okay? A lot of the softer courses and soft skill, we actually go to AIC. And right now, a lot of the courses we are also going through NCSS. So if you want to get a leg in, right, try the NCSS route. Right? Because a lot of the soft programs are there, and then they fund it. And the other thing nice about this is that they send us this whole long list of programs, right? So my staff have a variety to choose from. Okay, and the nice part about it is more or less being vetted by the other side. You know? So that helps also. You guys do that in courses, right?
Huh?
Just kidding. Yeah, that's about it. And I just ate my time.
Thank you so much, Timothy. And before I open the session for any one of you to ask a question for Timothy, I just want to share one personal experience. So
No, which one?
not Woodbridge. This time is not
Hospice,
not hospice, but palliative care.
Oh, okay.
So I never knew until a good friend of mine, the wife had late-stage cancer, and so he decided to apply for her to die a quality life at home. So I said, what does that mean? No? I mean, if you want to die at home, why must you apply? And that was where I learned that if you are late stage and we want to die at home, you got to sign a document so that when anything happens, you don't send her to the hospital, accident and emergency, because if you do that, we just keep her alive. That's our job, right? Once you send her there, we got to keep her alive, and she's not going to get quality life. So if you want her to die in the home environment and she's happy and all that, you got to sign that document. So that was to me a learning stuff. But if you ask me to work in that sector, I don't think I can handle it emotionally, right? But I will be happy to be a workplace learning specialist. Help you with that skills framework for your nurses, maybe. You know. But one very interesting thing Timothy mentioned, obviously, online learning is, I think there are quite a number of experts here. You can help, them to design something and so on. And then finally, one last comment. He said he's going to sell some koyok, but I didn't see him selling that koyok, so I'm going to sell the koyok for him. He has a charity golf to raise funds. So please sign up for one flight. It's only $4,000. So I already signed up one flight. It's not because of that you're here, right?
I don't care. Single second.
Just kidding, right? But they do raise funds. And I think on your board you have former President Tony Tan, right?
He's our patron.
A patron, right? Yeah. So there are quite a number of people there, to volunteer time to help them. So if you want to be on their board, talk to Timothy. I don't know what's the qualification, but just not me for this kind of. We haven't seen the kind of late stage. All right. So anybody question? Yes, Christine, go ahead.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, if any of your therapies come up with like a workshop or blended learning online for like group therapy as therapy or
For online.
yeah, to guide actually what the therapies or the social worker.
Yeah. So there are a few things. Not everything can go online. That's something to remember. And therapy is generally very difficult to go online.
Correct.
Right.
You have to do it.
Yeah. So some basic stuff you can, like for example, you want to do like PDPA kind of a training. I don't need a trainer in. I just make them go through the knowledge base. So there's certain knowledge skills that you can do that could be helpful, right? If it's more of a revision of certain theories, you can do it. But then when a lot of these therapy things, a lot of nursing procedures and all those, then they have to be, you need to do the actual performance, and then you have a rubric to actually assess it.
Yeah, we
Yes,
have
please.
something called the blended learning. Means comprises of face-to-face these practices and also online. And also with this blended learning, we also believe in what we call the flipped learning. Flip the whole thing. Okay, now when we go to school or go to do a degree and things like that, people normally go and listen to the lectures, and the lecturers will be yang, and then everyone falls asleep. And then go home and do the assignment. And we understand that, okay? Therefore, we decided to use the flip learning. Means you stay at home and do the yang yourself, without all the everything, and then you come to the university, and then we see how we can help the assignment. Yeah, flip learning.
So it's all video recorded
It should be.
for replay and improvement.
Yeah, but not the intention, really recorded for the learning purposes.
I see.
We design some, online learning as well. So it's a combination.
Thank you.
So we have online learning, we have blended learning, we have flipped learning. So let me introduce one more, called on-the-job learning. So that's what we are trained for. A lot of us, basically, your nurse or your therapist will have a problem reconstructing the job. So we come in and work with your subject matter expert, have you design that.
Right. So one of the things that Dover Park is fortunate is that we do have a nurse educator, because we have got a specialist diploma that we concurrently run with Ngee Polytechnic. Right. So we are very fortunate to have a nurse educator. We also have a nurse clinician, which guides all our young nurses in a lot of the things. And this is something which I think some other institution may not be so fortunate to have, and so I think, again, I don't have an answer for that particular one. Maybe William will have a better handle on how that works.
Okay, so the next time we see Timothy, he's going to say, we are very fortunate to have IAL supporting them on that, right? We can help them with
AIC funding.
that is for sure. Even IAL has its own funding, by the way. So I think Yi Chang is placed there based on the grant from IAL, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So IAL being Chenghu, right, have access to some of the billions that they keep announcing and everybody. Yes, Josephine, please.
Hi, Timothy. I'm actually specialist in HealthCare.
Oh.
Return to nursing.
I'm really in the midst of considering right now. But okay, I want to ask you. Exercise a lot about volunteer training, but is the funding going to be from your side? And how are you actually training your volunteers right now? Would you not want in-house training?
Yeah. So we do have our own specific training. The reason for that is because of the special industry, the special supplies we are in, which is end of life. We want to make sure that our volunteers do not have an adverse emotional reaction when they begin to face end of life patient, or that when the patient passes away, right? So when we go through our training, actually is partially done by our volunteer manager, but also done by our medical social worker, because then they will be able to assess during the 2 days training to make sure that there are no adverse, and if they find something that is a bit of a trigger, they would actually advise them to say, maybe you want to consider doing non-patient facing volunteering with Dover Park, right? And so we work that, and I think so far we have got a fairly robust program. We have got different progression. So we have got introduction, and then we have got a bit more basic, and then we have got befriending training. Then after for different activities, then our volunteers will be certified wheelchairing, patient transfer, we had feeding for a period of time, and then we also have tube feeding, right? So we do provide different skills that we certify, in a sense, our volunteers to do the task, and making sure that they also have refreshers and so on. The nice part about this, I think, in addition to the like MVPC and all those, have actually come to Dover Park, and we have actually given the feedback, and so they are also beginning to construct their own volunteer training program. So something to think about.
So volunteer training program is something that somebody like Josephine can help, right? Just like,
You do require nurses to do the training.
No, we don't require nurses to do the training. Yeah.
okay, wonderful, good question. Yes, Thomas.
It comes back to like all these non-nursing jobs, which are being people that know, that have a bit of the subject matter knowledge. We able to run it under your so-called appointment as a approved training organization. We develop, we run the program for you instead of you wasting your resources running this program for one. And then we getting the government funding through the approved organization, another revenue, not touching your fund. will you be interested in this kind of collaboration?
I'm definitely open to that, but currently what we are doing is that our volunteers themselves are training volunteers. Right? We've got volunteers, half of our volunteers are more than 10 years with us. So they are the ones that are actually training the other volunteers. So and they help each other to create a structure. So we do have a fairly mature ecosystem. And I think what you are suggesting would be helpful for many of the newer organizations. Actually, this could also be helpful for acute hospitals and some of the newer hospitals who are developing volunteer programs. Right.
So I think as far as funding is concerned, we're going to leave it to Carol to say a few words later. being what we call
Stress.
Chenghu. So time's up. All right. And if I hear Thomas correctly, he's saying that if I come with money, are you happy for us to help you? Take your volunteer training to the next level, then make it more professional. Maybe give a certificate at the end of it because there's some assessment, that kind of thing. If I understand correctly, that means you come with money. So if I were just like, we'll come. Talk later, right? First the money. Okay. Good. All right. So thank you very much to.